Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Successful and Sought After. I am your host, Kelsey Jimenez. I am the founder and CEO of Reflect the Dream School of Acting, and welcome to my show. This show is where I just talk about a variety of topics to help all of you move from where you are to where you are becoming. And I want to believe that if you are here listening to this podcast, if you're watching me live in this Facebook group, community, if you follow me on Instagram or just all the other wonderful ways you have found me, maybe on YouTube, who knows? I believe it's because you have a dream and a desire in your heart to become highly successful and sought after. And so my job here, my purpose is to move you from where you are to where you are becoming. And if you've watched the other podcast recordings or listened to them, we're really just discussing, like I said, a variety of topics to help you move from where you are to where you are becoming. We've talked about getting clear on what you're wanting and all the bullshit reasons why we believe we can't have it. Everything from, lack of family support, location, money. I'm not enough. It's too hard. I don't have what it takes. Just, we took the time to list out all the bullshit reasons. We then discussed branding next week, and I broke it down, really simplified it for all of y'all because I think we overcomplicate it. I even think some way we even attract that. I don't know if you are like me, but there is definitely a part of me that believes this has to be hard. Excuse the little dings. This is a live recording, so those little dings are email alerts, and sometimes my phone will turn on, and so I'm just keeping it real. This is live. But anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I think that we can overcomplicate things because if you're like me, I tend to believe that everything has to be hard. I have to work really hard to make a lot of money. I have to, I think that's it. It's like, I have to work really hard. Like I have to be working, full day. Like there's no way I could rest or take time off or have joy or have fun. I mean, there's just no way. I have to work really hard. So I think we attract then hard things, and we almost want it to be hard. We almost want it to be complicated and 10 steps. And I'm just like, I'm done with that. I've had many years of where I thought everything had to be hard. And then therefore I'm constantly striving and toiling and earning and just busy. And I'm so ready to put all that down, actors. And so today's topic is pretty simple, and but also we can overcomplicate it. And I'm here to just demystify it and get you all unstuck and show you some awesome ways around this topic. So we are going to talk about resources for the actor who is becoming successful and highly sought after, or highly successful and sought after. I play around with that. But so yeah, we're going to talk about resources actors. Now, before this call, I kind of did my own research. What would it say out there on the internet? What's it going to say if I Google, resources for actors? What are already people sharing? What are they telling actors? And oh my goodness, actors, you should just do this for yourself. You should just Google, resources for actors or actors resources, and you're just going to be overwhelmed with a bazillion links. And so you'll probably just pick the first couple ones on the very first page, like I did. So I selected one. The title is 25 top resources. I'm like, okay. So I click on it, and it is a page full of like links to other pages, other websites, pages for Actors Equity and SAG-AFTRA and Playbill and, Broadway, Backstage. There's IMDb, casting, Actors Access. There's network links. Yes, all this is great. Okay, great. So I would say yes, actors. One of the many resources that we have is the internet. We have multiple sites, and oh gosh, I don't even want to go down that road of just like, okay, the resources for networking and SAG and Actors Union. And oh my gosh, I feel like I want to just unpack that. So I guess what that website tells me, if I'm an actor looking for resources, or what are my resources, I guess what that would tell me is, okay, there are all these other websites that I can read and find answers. Like, there are answers out there. Okay, so there are answers there to find about SAG and unions and IMDb. But what if you didn't know that? So it's just, I guess for a new actor, that site would kind of overwhelm me. I wouldn't really know where to go, or I would stop right there and just use this page and all the links and just land there. So that's one way to look at it, actors, resources. Also, when I was just kind of researching the resources, actors resources, everything you need to know about acting, all these useful topics, all these useful this, all these useful that. Again, all that I would say would be helpful. But man, I was so surprised that through my research, it's like I couldn't find any of the resources that I shared with my students. And I was just shocked. I was like, really? Like, these are such simple, amazing, useful resources that we have right here in the palm of our hand, right around us, actors, that I guarantee you, all of you already have all these things right now, these wonderful resources. And it was just interesting as I was researching, like, what the web says about resources for actors. They just failed to share, to list these things. So let's talk about them, actors. Let's talk about the resources that I share with my students. So in my School of Acting, one of the exercises is actors are to take an inventory, a list of all the resources they currently have. And again, if you Google it, what does that even mean? It is very overwhelming and a lot of different opinions. But actors, these resources that you already have, your resources, like, you have a car, you have a job, you have money, you have time. What are the resources that you already have, actors? Take inventory. You have a computer, you have a phone, you have a printer, you have secretary skills. What resources do you already have? You have a sister who is a photographer. She's never done headshots, but what if I could educate myself on what is expected and what's needed? I have a friend who is in graphic arts. I have Instagram. I have a bazillion friends that are following me, or I'm following. So I want you first, actors, to take an inventory of all the resources you already have. You will be really surprised. Your friends are resources. They're incredibly resourceful. Friends know friends, and friends know people, and people know people. I mean, I am so blessed how I can use my friends as resources. It's that old saying's coming to mind. It's all about who you know, and I don't really believe that. I don't think the saying is who you know is how you get in the door. I don't really believe that, but I there is incredible value with knowing people and seeing them as a resource. My mom, for example, is a nurse practitioner. She's incredibly resourceful. Anytime my children are sick, anytime I have questions about whatever, a cut, I mean, whatever it is, I can call my mother and she gives me answers. So I have a wonderful resource in my mother. My dad was in a stagehand, for Broadway and behind the scenes and musical theater and things like that. And so he's very handy. He's very technical. He also is a great cook. So, very resourceful. Now, as an actor, I would list those things down. Okay. See your parents, see your friends, see your siblings, see your neighbors, see them all as a resource. And how can I use them? Maybe as an actor right now, yeah, I think that you would, using my dad, yes, he would be resourceful to some degree, but also just to have that in my back pocket. My dad is also a very blue collar. He's conservative, there's other characteristics. He's stubborn. The way he expresses his emotion is unique. And, even though I'm a female, perhaps there are some emotions or qualities I could tap into the future, or even myself as an acting coach. I obviously work with all, men, women. So I could tap into him and just sit in his shoes, the power of observation. Oh my gosh, my dad is so great to observe. So many resources there. My mom, just again, I would just go through my friends and family, those people really close to me, and start to just take an inventory of all the resources I currently have. Okay. Time, money, cars, list it all, paper, a house. I have a blank wall. I'm, in a city, I close by things. I have great lighting. I have a beautiful backyard to do, posts and pictures and just whatever actors. So that's first thing. Okay. Take an inventory of all the resources you currently have. And then the next thing I want you guys to think about as resources is it reminds me of what the Bible says, how God has called all of us to have dominion, to subdue, and to be resourceful. God calls us to be resourceful. And what does that mean, actors, to be resourceful? Be resourceful, how I coach it, is using everything that we have, everything that is available to us. See it as a resource and be resourceful. It's kind of my first example, using friends, family, people, places, all the things that you have. But if you dig a little bit deeper and you think, okay, how can I be resourceful? Like, what are the things that I currently have at my fingertips that I can begin to become the successful and sought after actor that I am desiring? I am desiring to become the successful and sought after actor. So how can I become resourceful? Yes, friends and family seeing what's there, but I want to be sought after. I want to be successful. And last week I was at like a panel for actors and casting directors and producers and writers. And one of the actors were asking the importance of social media and Instagram and TikTok and all these things. And one of the casting directors kind of made her feel as if it wasn't really important, it doesn't really matter and whatnot. And And I don't know, I left that meeting and I just kept thinking about that question. And I was like, well, wait a minute, actors. It does matter. Everything matters. It of course it matters. It it matters or it doesn't matter. I mean, everything is going to matter. We can make it matter. We can make it not matter. Oh my gosh, we can make it mean. We can make it really matter. And oh my, like we could make it put meaning on it. But everything should matter or not matter. Okay. And if we decide that social media does not matter, it's almost like we're throwing away such a valuable resource. Like we are called to be resourceful. And God has given us a beautiful way, actors, to let ourselves be known, to expand, to grow, to reach, to connect, to network, to show off, to announce. Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on. So we have such a beautiful resource. And so it should matter. My car, even if your car is not the nicest car, it matters. Make sure it matters to you. See it as a resource. It gets you to and from auditions, to and from work, so that you can make money to invest in yourself. It gets you here and there. It helps you, take you to the grocery store to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Takes you to the gym. Takes you to fun places, because your well-being and your joy and peace and happiness, they are important too. So it should all matter or not matter. Okay, there are some things in my life that do not matter. My family matters. My business matters to me. My students matter. Honestly, what's going on the news, a lot of it does not matter. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, but what matters, my family, my school, my students. Okay, that my purpose, what I'm called here, the reason why I'm here. And I'm here to get you unstuck. I'm here to also move into the successful and sought after, and I'm moving you with me. So that is what matters, becoming who I was always meant to be, and taking you all with me. So let's talk a little bit about social media and, to me, why it matters. And on the next podcast, guys, I've already decided that I want to talk about a dream team. I think this idea of, social media and how to use it as an actor is a whole episode in itself. So stay tuned to that one for next week. But I want you to begin to see how social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on, I want you to see that it matters. Okay, so it matters. So then how does it matter? How does it matter to you? My Instagram page, my Facebook page for Reflect the Dream, they matter because that is where Kelsey shows up. That those are the places where I am seen. I can show up in this group and be exactly who I am meant to be. I am meant to be the highly successful and sought after acting coach of the #1 school of acting. I am here to radically transform the lives of aspiring actors so that they can fully believe in themselves, reach their full potential, and become the highly successful, sought after actors they've always dreamed of, living in Hollywood, working on film and television projects that they love. It matters. I can post here. I can share quotes. I can share testimonies. I mean, this is a place where I get to be me. It matters to me. Instagram, it matters. It matters to let myself know, so that's why it matters to me. So as you are looking at your Instagram page, your Facebook, whatever, maybe take an inventory of all of your social media accounts. And if you're not on some of these platforms, get on them, okay? Take an inventory of what there is out there, and also what feels good to you. You know, Twitter does not feel good to me. I don't want anything to do with Twitter. TikTok does not feel good to me. Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, those three platforms, and podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, those feel good to me. So whatever feels good to you. But if Instagram seems like, if it seems kind of scary, like, oh, putting myself out there, but it also kind of seems exciting, you get this like tingling feeling about it, actors, I would say list that. Bless me. Oh, bless me. I would say list that down as one of your resources. Okay. Look into that and see how that can matter to you. How can, yeah, just stay there. I almost wanted to unpack that, but no, I'm going to save that. So just stay there and see how that matters to you. And then your Facebook page, just kind of do that and take an inventory of these social media accounts, or all these social media platforms, all the different ways that you can grow and learn. And honestly, YouTube should be a resource. YouTube should be on your list, your inventory of resources. YouTube's a great resource. You can also list some awesome websites. And if you don't know of some, well, just Google, actors resource, and it will give you a lot of the top sites. But then make sure you like them, I love Backstage. I love like everything about that website. It is very user friendly. You can type in a topic and it's going to give you several articles. It's very like straightforward. It's clear. It comes with links that will take you right where you need to go. So I love Backstage. I think Backstage should be on all of your list, actors. That's a great resource. Yeah, oh my gosh, I could just sit here and just list a bunch, but I want you actors to take the time and take a list, get a list, take inventory, take an inventory of all of your resources, and you will be amazed. You will be so amazed. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I have so many resources. I am resourceful. I am so resourceful. I mean, look at all my resources. Oh my gosh. And you can own that. I am resourceful. My credit cards are resources. My bank is a resource. Family, friends, my savings account. I mean, just, oh my gosh, on and on. So then we can really own that we are resourceful, because actors, we have to be resourceful, not just for finances, not just to get jobs and to make ourselves known, but for where we are going and who we are becoming. We have to be resourceful. Okay, we have to know in our hearts that we are resourceful, and we are resourceful actors. And I really hope that this exercise shows you just how resourceful you are. And stretch yourself, challenge yourself, just start to think outside the box. This is a list that can grow as you meet people, as you make connections. You can add to this list of resources. And then I'll talk to you next week, kind of what to do with this. Now that we are seeing Instagram and the people around us and platforms and websites and YouTube in our car, and like now that we have this amazing list of resources that we can use, what do we do with them? And I want to really highlight social media as a huge resource, actors. I want to talk to you about that next week. So yeah, all right, well, tune in. So have fun, go out there as always and reflect your dreams. I also just kind of want to plug in what's happening, actors. If you guys check out my website, reflectthedream.com. There are a ton of resources on there. I'm a great resource. I have all my information about my group acting classes. I have lots of different options. I have my information about my bundles. You can download my free ebook. You can join my private Facebook group, My Dream of Acting. There's, in that private Facebook group, I do my live teachings. I do invites for master classes, free calls, things like that. So I am a resource, actors, right here. Reflect the Dream, School of Acting. All right, actors, have a great day. Reflect your dream, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.